from the emergency social work service. Alex, how you doing?
How you doing, Lee?
Not so bad. Alex, you were ringing about your Four Waynes.
That's right.
Can I just check? It's Carter, Macy, Lincoln, and Jackson? Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
Don't tell me what our system's down at the moment, so we can't get on to look at it. But what was the story? Were they taken on the care placements yesterday?
Yes, but I didn't get no documents. Should have given me. I was told by a friend that I should have had an order, receipt of an order to say that they could do that.
Don't tell me. Look, I obviously don't know anything about this. Go and tell me what happened yesterday exactly.
Right. Police officers boxed me in at my house all day, and they kept me at the house till about, I don't know what time it was last night, about 5 or 6 o'clock. The kids were living at home with me. My wife had left. I went back to Isle of Man, and she came back over, and she was staying down in a friend's in Norma's house, a girl's house down in Belfast, and the kids were up there in it, and then I brought the kids home, back down to the house, and she the next thing the police arrived, kept me in the house, boxed me in the court all day, wouldn't let me go out, and then social workers came in, took my kids out of home. They says they were going splitting them up in two and two. They say the two young ones were going into foster homes. Yet the police and all told them that everything was all right with me and that they were fine. And I've had social workers.
Go on, tell me, Alex. Go on, tell me. I still don't know why were police and social services out in the first place?
Because they said my wife phoned them.
Oh, your wife phoned them?
Yep. But
what did she say?
I've been talking to. I don't know what she said. They wouldn't tell me. They just said it was an issue that day. Like, at the end of the day, I've been left in the dark. I haven't had a piece of paper. I was told I was going to court tomorrow, but they didn't tell me what court I'm going to or nothing. So I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I need to know if it's in court in the morning.
Chances are it won't be going to court tomorrow. I mean, if the children were removed last night, they've probably been removed under what's called Article 65 police protection, which allows them for them to be kept for 72 hours before it goes to court. So it's probably going to be going to court on Wednesday.
No, they said Tuesday.
Well, and it could well be that they're going to, by the time the social services office is open again tomorrow, and then they make contact with solicitors and all that, it could be in a court tomorrow afternoon. But in any event, they have to be in court by Wednesday if they're not planning to return the children to your care. But tell me, because this is important. I mean, when a social worker comes out and says that they're going to remove your children, are you telling me they remove your children by force?
Well, they called the police, keep me here all day, and then they came out down in. Yes, I didn't want them to take them. They come in and says they were taking the kids, and the police were.
Right. And why did they say they were taking the children?
They didn't tell me. They just said something that's happened today. That's it.
Right. So, but they have to tell you something.
That's
did
all.
They tell you that an allegation was made against you, or did they tell you?
Just says something that's happened today. That's all they said to me. Now, I've had from last week, since my wife went away. This is about a year ago, a couple of years ago. My wife done exactly the same thing. Got police to come in and take the kids, and they went through the courts, and she got a temporary residency with I think it was Lisburn Women's Aid, and she got temporary residency there. So then she went before the court and asked for whatever she said. I don't know. They awarded her custody of kids and said she come back to court on the Wednesday, whatever it was. So I went to court. This is the weekend. I went to court on the Monday or whatever it was. With one of them days anyway in between, through my solicitors, McCann, and I asked for a prohibited steps order to stop my children being taken off island, and the judge refused it on the grounds that she didn't need it. She believed her. And then on the Tuesday, I found out my wife had gone with the kids. She was in the Isle of Man, so I ended up back in back in the court again, and I think it was Newry Court, I think, Lisburn or Newry, and I ended up back before the court with Stingy Rafferty, my sister, and they said that they then asked for an arrest warrant to be issued to her in Isle of Man, but because it was a different jurisdiction and they don't adhere to a thing called Brussels 2, they had to go in and get a European arrest warrant. So she didn't answer the first one, and then they were going for European arrest warrant, and then I removed the European arrest warrant because it said it could take for a while. And that I put my faith and actually just went praying and hoped for the best, and she was a bit worried about him, and she came back accordingly, and I told the social worker she came back herself, and then we went through the whole social worker system, the year of
And how long have the Waynes been living with you, Alex?
The whole time, or the whole life, always me on her.
And see your wife, is it Katie? Is it
Katie? Katie, how'd you know that? Well,
she's been on the phone here too, looking for us to phone her to confirm which court tomorrow.
I will show. Well, that's all right. Well, as long as I don't know what I'm worried. At the end of the day, I just don't know what the hell's going on here, and this is horrible. I'm actually on a vigil here. I'm outside St Don's Cathedral, sitting here waiting on the solicitors and that to open tomorrow, because these people, I believe, through Gateway, are abusing their powers of me. My wife come over.
Well, tell me, hold on, because it was yesterday. It wouldn't have been Gateway. It would have been us. It would have been the regional emergency service that would have dealt with us yesterday.
Right, so all I need to know is which, so I can go into solicitor in the morning, the river.
I wouldn't really tell you what, because what will happen is that just, if it was regional, then we just hand that over to Gateway at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
But I don't want it
and
to
then
go.
They get on to the solicitors, and then they agree then, and the solicitors tell
But hold on, right? I had, see, last week, or I think it was Tuesday or something, I got a phone call. I had a police officer knock my door early in the morning, that only something to do with a stupid thing about a car going door to door. Whatever day it was, the end of my boat was coming in, and I said, the girl that was helping me with the kids, I says, right, let's get the kids out here, I smell a rat here, because she fucks off and leaves me, excuse my language, she goes off and leaves me, and then this is what she does, she comes back. So anyway, I thought the boat's coming in, so I got out offside in case they were coming to the house and she's pulling one of her tricks. The next thing, a Gateway officer, Lindsay Stevenson, I think it was, phoned and says, hello, I'm just coming down to check up on your safety and stuff and all at the house and all this, because we've been having these mad threats come through. I says, well, it's a bit convenient you're phoning now a half an hour before the boat comes in. She went, no, she says, the kids are definitely alright in your car, and went through a whole long conversation about them being alright and they're not a problem, they only want to see me. And then lo and behold, she kept trying to get me to meet her. Then the next thing, my wife did come off the boat, so it was right. And so it was made a pantomime all week long. It's turned into a big drama, and it turns out then in the end, she's then made a phone call about me, and they've held me in my house all day, police, and then they've taken the children last night. Now I had, when I was speaking to Lindsay and everything, I told Lindsay, I got recordings of Lindsay and that, the whole lot of them telling me that they weren't coming to take the kids and everything was okay, and there wasn't a problem with kids and all the rest of it. And so it was premeditated and planned all week, and I've had a nightmare of a week. And my wife does this, comes back, then so she broke a child abduction act. She took in kids off us here the last time via the courts, but yet the officers deemed to come in yesterday and take them out or social workers come in and take them out of my house. Now, no, what she does is, I don't know, she comes over and causes a load of shit. I don't know what she does. She plays games, she records, she messes about, and then she goes. And then now I'm back in the same position again, and I'm highly worried about where the children are. For one, they shouldn't be in foster care, because they're not foster care type of children. They're well looked after. The only time there's any trouble is when she comes over and plans all this game. So she's being assisted by this Lindsay Stevenson, and the guy put her on Facebook and everything, the whole escapade, and it's going to end up. I've been in BBC, I've been in the UTV television. They said as soon as it gets busy this week, they're over the weekend they're busy, but they come back in again. And I've asked to speak to Nolan. I've got everybody on recorded. I've got all the stuff from the last, and I just want to be dealt with properly. I'm getting fed up with getting this. It's running me down, and so they'll do this to me. And then by the time we get to court, I'll be not worth the salt. So I'm keeping my head together, and I'm trying to pace.
I can't tell you what court is going to be at tomorrow.
But why did I not get a piece of paper? Why did I not get an order form to say that they're taking them?
Sorry?
Why did I not get? Should I not have been produced with a document to say they'd lifted the kids?
No, it depends. I mean, only if it's by court order, you get a copy of the order of the court. But if it's done under police protection, then the police social worker would normally get the police to fill in the form. And sometimes if it works out, just in terms of reasons, a copy of the form with you. You're entitled to a copy of the form anyway at any stage. You know, you'll be asked for one tomorrow, you get it.
No, I want it tonight.
Well, you'll not get it tonight. I have to be honest with you and tell you, because it would only be if the social worker who dealt with this yesterday got the police to fill it out on site there and then. Sometimes the police just log it on their system that they've granted the police protection and they don't fill it.
But how could the police have done it whenever the police were crying and all the police says they didn't agree with it?
How come what, sorry?
The police officer who was there, a lady police officer and another police officer, lady police officer was stood crying and telling us she didn't agree with what was happening, but it was down to them. So one of two of them's lying then.
But I mean, at the end of the day, somebody needed to tell you whether your children were being lifted by an order of the court or by under police protection, because that's only two ways that you can lift somebody's children off them without their consent.
But how could I have been held? How could I have been held all day at my own home by police officer cars all boxed me in? How could I be held? Surely until that form's given to me, surely I'm I'm not under any arrest or anything. How can they block me in until such times? Surely I should have.
I don't know what that's all about. I'm not a police officer and I'm not a solicitor, Alex, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, to be quite honest with you. That's something you need to address with the police and with your solicitor.
Right.
You know, I mean, I can't comment on that. All I can comment on is that you're asking me, you're telling me, and I can't get on our system because it's down at the minute, but you're telling me that social workers lifted your children out of your care yesterday and advised you that the matter will be brought before court on Tuesday. So all I can say to you is to get your solicitor to ring Gateway tomorrow and to confirm. Do you normally have a social worker anyway, or?
No.
Well, if you get your solicitor to ring Gateway in the morning and find out which court's going to be dealing with it, I mean, the trust solicitors would make contact with your solicitor anyway, just to let them know.
Right.
But nobody will know until the morning which court's going to be hearing it. Alright, I'm just going to be ringing Katie back now to say exactly the same as well.
Right, well, there's no... can you I don't know, are you allowed to pass messages between me and her? Tell her I've been on... Can you tell her that I've been on the phone as well?
No, I mean, I'm just saying to you as a name here, but no, I can't get involved in terms of message passes, passing messages and all that.
No, but no, that's all right. I don't want you to pass messages as long as she hasn't got them. If you're telling me the truth and she's phoned you, that's all right. It's not all right. I'd rather her with one or two of us, because better the devil you know. We're with her friends. She wouldn't. I'm just worried that who the hell they're with, what they're doing in Kerr. If my kids are in Kerr, like anything could happen to them. This isn't fair, like, this is how kids get abused.
Well, look, Alex, you're doing the right thing. I might go to your solicitor in the morning just and take it from there, alright?
Right, alright, bye.
Okay, Alex.
Thank you.